Well, Robin, this seems to be one of the more intense campaigns pre-season. A lot more game time for your team.
Yes, there is. We've had a very good lead up. We've been to the pre-season in Sydney and had a good hit out there against a lot of the teams. Not everyone, but you know, they did really well getting as much as they did in. Lovely new facilities. It was really worthwhile. Then this weekend we've got a triangular tournament really in Otaki, which is also good because we're now bringing up steel and tactics to play. So yeah, it's really good. And then the following weekend we have something, and then it's all go.
Because the comment has been before, New Zealand tends to be a little bit underdone when they go into those early rounds.
Well, that was one of the things that concerned me year after year. I just thought, like, we're not hitting the ground running really. We needed far more pre-season to fine-tune things, especially at this level. You need to have lots of combinations and structures working on the court, and they can't happen during a competition. They have to happen early.
Were you able to play your full squad in Australia?
Yes, I was. Everybody played and had plenty of game time, and it was really good to see how well the young ones came up from that, because, you know, like, it's a big call to suddenly put them on during the heat of the ANZ games, but I thought they came through really well.
And they had a couple of games last weekend, didn't you?
Yes, Vixens paid us a visit. They wanted some pre-season, some extra for themselves, so they came over here, and we had one game out at TRA, which is Pororua, and here, and then at ASB in Wellington. So they were well received by everybody. It was great.
Did you win them both?
We did. We managed to sneak in by one in the first one, and then the second one we won quite comfortably. We all played our players around, so you know you can't take a lot from it, but it certainly was quite gratifying to see. I was really pleased.
Are they as physically rigorous as a true match, or are people holding back a little bit?
No, they're not holding back, and it's a typical hard presence on the body, hard physical presence, fast, dynamic, that sort of play. That was still very evident.
And getting games against Australian teams, that's a rarity this early.
Oh, you need it, and I think they're realising they need it too, that maybe we've looked at them now, and we'll all be working on similar sort of game plans to try and counteract their speed, and rather than chase them, keep up with them, or be a bit smarter, use netball smarts a bit more.
And you have the usual challenge of integrating the Silver Ferns and their program and adopting for that. How's that going this year? Can't be easy.
Oh, that's not easy. It's if you've got the amount, you know, there's a lot of girls, and the expectations on both, you know, the franchise playing. They're professionally, you know, contracted to us, and they're contracted to the Ferns. So it is quite hard for the players, because they have got two different trainers, they've got different coaches, they've got different boards, they've got everything about it is different for them. So they're living two lives really, but we do our best, our very best to make it easy for them.
How much interaction do you have with Y as the Silver Ferns coach? Does she sort of ask you to play players in certain positions or anything, or are you left to your own devices?
No, I'm fine. I'm pretty much left to my devices.
Tell us about Jodie Brown's integration, because this is the post-Donna era. How is she slotted in?
She's good. She's good, Jodie, and she isn't. She's been here before anyway. She played up here as a young person, and I think as a schoolgirl she might have represented teams up here, our family from this area. So no, she's been great. She's enjoyed it. It's still the travel factor, but Donna had that as well, and lots of players are prepared to do that, to play where they're happy, and she seems to be really happy. She's got close friends here, and she's just slotted in. It's been good.
I suppose the challenge for her was she was kingpin in the steel. She was captain and leader, and now there's a lot of senior players around her.
There is, but I've actually got a senior players group that are working really well, and I've got a mentoring system too, and within the team, and I've been really, really delighted with all of that working. And so Jodie is having, you know, a good influence there, because she's been used to the leadership and she's been used to contributing. So yeah, we've just set it up so that they have a lot more responsibilities.
And it's not totally strange. She would have played with a lot of these players, either at the very top level or age group. They're all familiar names.
Yeah, they are. They are. They're all very familiar. There's nothing they don't know. There's nothing about a netball player that doesn't know about the next one. That's throughout the competition. Only have to ask little things and they'll know.
What about the competition within your squad for places? Is that healthy?
Yeah, that's good. That's good because these young ones are really going to start pushing them, so that's good. But there are the hardened professional players, the ones that have been around and things, and they certainly are making a difference. Like our Ds are playing exceptionally well. Katrina Grant, Tahuinga, looking really good, and Ama Agbezi, she's an English player. She's looking good as well. And then we've got a young one, Jess Burke from Auckland, and she's only young and she's thriving with those older ones around her. So the Ds are looking quite settled because they've had a lot of years together now.
And the match fitness must be right up there with the game time you've had.
Yep, that's been good. Done a lot more sort of off-court stuff in the way of cardiorespiratory, making sure our aerobic fitness is right up, doing a lot of strength, agility training, speed and agility. I've got special sessions of those going. I think we just all need to be looking at getting those bases really right now, because that's what the game of netball is. It's speed and agility, and it's, being able to think under pressure, and so the aerobic capacity is really important.
Looking at those Australian teams you've seen so far, we talked to Wendy Frew last week. She thought the Swifts looked perhaps the best. What's your opinion?
Yes, they did. But funnily enough, I went to a coaches meeting over there, and they were interviewed, the Australian coaches, as to who their pick was for the top Australian team, and 4 out of the 5 picked Fever. They've recruited well, Fever, and they did look good. Yes, we kept up with them for the first half, and then we had big changes, and most like everybody went on, and the second half they drew away easily. Yeah, they have got some good players there, but I would have thought Swifts too. I thought they played really well. We lost to the Swifts, and I thought they were really good.
We hear about the Fever every year. It's the year, isn't it? But they've struggled. They struggle with the travel, which is very arduous for them.
Yes. Yeah, we do. You're right. But they have recruited well, and they've got some good Australian players there. No, they'll be fine. Their shooting lineup was as strong as ever. They've got Bassett and Medhurst, and they played those finals and Commonwealth Games. I mean, yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Vixens, they look good too. They didn't have one of their top players, Jiva Mental, wasn't playing, having a lot of game time. She's obviously been injured. And a lot of them have been overloaded. The English players had lots of tours before they came out here. So be interesting to see.
And internally, the Mystics and the Magic struggled in Australia to really show their wares. Is there more to come from them?
Oh, yes. The Mystics didn't have their full contingent there. Catherine Latu isn't back yet. Not sure when she'll be back. And the same with Magic. And they are missing Casey. To be fair, they did look as if that was a gap, and that has to be filled. And I'm not sure when she'll be back either.
And how do you perceive your draw? You get what you get, but is it something you can manage nicely?
Yes, well, you get what you get, and you just have to work around it, and it's fine. It's fine. I mean, we're used to that now. There should be no excuses for anything like, well, the draw was this or the draw was that. And our bye is in a good place. Last year it was sort of the 2 previous years. I thought the bye was really a difficult time, but this one's good. It's right in the middle, and it gives you the recovery time. That's good. So
you're starting Vixens, aren't you? Is it good to A, start with an Australian team, and B, a team you're quite familiar with now?
Yeah, we are. Like that sort of, I was talking to their coach, and I said, this is like deja vu, really. Here we go again. But it was good. It was good, and both of us did play all our players, and except the ones that she had that weren't able to go, and I only had some that were only allowed so much court time. If they've got an injury, the Ferns and us have to look after it, and it was one of our Ferns players. So, yeah, we work hard at that.
Do you see any changes in style in the pulse? Will we notice anything on court with the change in personnel?
I think we're looking better aerobically. And I think that our agility is looking good, and I am still insistent that we keep training that way to keep that up, because I thought we let the ball go well, we played at speed, lifted our intensity when we needed to. So now I have to work with our strength and conditioner trainer to make sure that we stay on track in that direction.